Hello everyone and welcome to my coloring corner. Today is Wellness Wednesday and we will be continuing on with Teresa Goodridge's Country Garden, and we'll be doing our bike with the Arrtx watercolor paint pens. Hello Emmy, hello Davissa, hello Celine. Just scrolling through here. Hello Dawn, hello Alex, hello Wicca. Hello, Brittany. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm not quite sure why your name is now Crybaby Wicca, but we may have to talk about that later. Hello, hello, everyone. Davissa, I hope the job is going well. And Jen will not. Well, Jen might be here lurking, but she is having a birthday dinner with her hubby. So, Bill, happy birthday if you see this. Happy birthday! All right, so that's the exclamations out of the way. Yes, yes, there is a lot to learn. Ah, your daughter's that would explain that. Awesome. Definitely understand that one. All right, so as you saw in the preview and in the speed color, I did get the pathway done, as well as the grass and some of the leaves. We'll be continuing on with the leaves and, of course, the wall and the door and all that fun stuff today. If we don't get it done, as I said before, we will do the same thing, and I will speed it up and play it at the start of Saturday's video. Yes, wonderful. Yes, absolutely proud of you, Davissa. I knew you could do it. Aw. Aw, poor thing. Yeah, that would cause her to be a crybaby. All right, so let's get started. We're going to switch you over to the close-up camera. Well, actually, I'm going to switch you over to the camera where we can see both. Just got to find it here. Doo-doo-doo. There we go. All right, so that should take us over to the close-up and give you the palette as well. And I think we're going to, let's finish up this area here and then we'll start on the wall. So I'm going to color these little flowers and I'm going to do them in a blue. And we're going to try to make sure that we keep things fairly even. So I'm going to grab a light blue and a dark blue and some greens as well. So I need this green and this green. So there's our greens and here's our blues. I'm going to put some light blue down first. And our dark blue as well. That would be yes, I have heard of them. They are an Oregon company, and I have spoke to them, and yeah, I have seen them. I do know about them, quite a bit about them. So I'm going to use the light blue here. I'm not a huge marker person, so. This is actually quite a bright blue. I might want to dull down that color a little bit. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Davissa. I'm going to take a little bit of the dark blue and just go towards the center here. And take a little bit more of it, and we're going to put a little bit in the shadowy areas here where the plants are overlapping, like so. And my hand is probably in your way. Let's see if I can zoom that in a little bit. All right. Yeah, let's zoom that in. There we go. There. That's zoomed in quite a bit. Hello, View. I saw you stream this morning. I'm not sure if you saw me in there, but I said hello, but you were busy, so. And just logging off. They are very expensive. They are a very, very expensive set. They are very close to the same cost as Copics. Just taking that light blue, filling in the flowers. Yeah, she's able to if she wants to. Thank you, View. I appreciate that. Taking some of that dark blue. Just going to fill it in a little bit here around the center of the flower. And Mr. Choo Choo says hello. Making sure that we get our shadow on the overlap. And we need a little bit more of that light blue for the third flower there. And put a little bit of water down. Oh, that might be too much. All right, wipe that off. Pick up some of this dark blue. And we're going to touch it in to that area there. And we're going to dry that out. And then we'll put in our yellow for our centers. Well, at the start of the video, I have been putting the offline stuff. Now, I do not paint that quickly. That is sped up to fit in the allotted time. But yeah, it does give you the ability to see the start to finish of the product. I will actually be doing another experiment. I will be going through and putting all of the live streams together in a video. I'll be cutting and moving things together, doing some editing, and trying to get from start to finish put together so that you guys can see it all in one go. So I'm just bringing that green, that darker green into the lighter green, right in the middle in between the two of them, and blending them together to get the green I need for the plant. Oh, thanks guys. Not quite true, but thank you. I appreciate you all. Not all that fantastic when it comes to the watercolor stuff, but I do continue to try. And of course, practice does help quite a bit. Just going to go back in and pick up some of the mixture green. Hello, Larissa. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I've known Larissa a very long time. She's one of the very first people I ever met, like coloring wise, in the coloring community. And we have talked to each other ever since. Okay, so I'm going to take a little tiny bit of this really dark green here, if I can find it. Medium kind of dark green. I'm making a mess here. There it is. I need this one as well. And we're going to do the shadowy areas of these flowers with it. I'm going to make sure that we put in a touch of this, just to brighten them up a little in some areas. Take some of the yellow as well. That bright yellow green, chartreuse kind of green. A little bit of the dark. And then we're going to dry it out because we don't want to oversaturate the paper. Hey Karen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, Serene, you can purchase it, but it's really expensive. All right, so we've got the blue flowers done there. So let's move on up to this area here. I'm going to take some purples. We'll be using the greens again at the bottom here where the leaves are, but these areas here we're going to do in this light purple here. Just making sure I get enough of it on the palette. An old hair dryer will definitely work. It may work a little bit slower, depends upon how good of an old hair dryer it is, but it will work. The heat gun is actually quite hot, so and as I move down, trying to make sure that I get duller with the color, because the further down you go, the lighter they get as you get closer to the bottom. Basically, the older the flower is, the more color it loses when it's fully opened. So these ones up here at the top are new and still in bud. These ones down here are a little bit older, like so. Now that's very, very light to you, but it isn't to me. Now I'm going to take a darker red violet, and we're going to just take a little tiny bit of this and do the very, very, very deep areas of the petals. I do believe these are called phlox. But I'm not absolutely positive. So don't quote me on that. All right. Hurry back. Awesome. Picking up some of that light purple again. And just letting the water, as it comes through the pen, lighten it up a little bit. And we're going to pick up the dark purple. Do our darker areas here. Make sure that they don't wash out. Sometimes you have to just let it dry a little bit so you can see where it needs to be a little bit darker. And you can just add a little bit more. This area here is in the shadows, so we're going to darken it up a little. And then we're going to give it a dry. Yes, they're also known as foxgloves or phlox, or there's all sorts of names for it. All right, now we're going to move into the greens. we're going to pick up this nice bright green. And we're just going to do each leaf, and then we'll come back through with a darker green and do our shadow areas. Great thing with paint is that you can just do a movement right across the whole area that you're working and just keep adding color as it dries. Build that color on top of each other just like you would a colored pencil, but with a bit of drying time in between. If you have a heat gun, it's a lot less drying time than if you have just hot air. Only if you eat them. Alright, now we're going to put in some dark green. And just blending that out a little bit, making sure that we don't have any hard lines. Getting those shadow areas in. And then we're going to take our yellow green and we're just going to add a bit of highlight to it. And then we're going to blow dry it dry. Alright, now, so that blends well with that, so we're going to add blues here so that we have a tricolor area there, keeping balance in our picture. Just going through with the light blue. Oh, I missed some grass. That's okay, we'll get it. Sometimes the smaller details jump out at you as you're doing things. Like the grass that I missed. right. So you guys all bored yet? Add some of the dark blue. And we're losing a little tiny bit of detail in the flowers at this point, so I'm just going to guesstimate where that dark blue should be. Alright, now we're going to give it a blow dry. Hey Liz, hey Fotis, hey Kathleen, hi Christina. Sorry, just looked up. Oh, ouch! Trying to color a cat. I don't know how to help you with that one. I'm going to put a drop of yellow in the center of each of these flowers. And I'm going directly from the pen so that I can get the highest pigmentation. So basically with these paint markers, if you put them down on a palette and then add water, you're lessening the amount of color, so amount of pigment that is on the page. If you go directly from the pen, you can definitely bring that pigment up a little bit higher. So for example, if I go in here like this, it's going to show a lot darker than if I was to go in with my watercolor brush. So I'm just going to feather that out a little bit. So you can definitely do that as well. I have used Jane Davenport paint pens. I do have a set of them. I have not used the palette. I haven't used any of her dry paints. But I do have a set of mermaid paint pens, watercolor pens. Just getting the leaves here. They're really pretty, but they're very sparkly. Don't work so well when you're coloring a landscape type thing. So I'm just getting in between the flowers here. I'm going to add some of the yellow. As well as some of the darker greens so that I can get the same tone that I had for the rest of the grass. I need a little bit more yellow. And I'm just going to finish up the grass here that I missed. Now I'm going to leave that area alone because that's part of the wall. Like that. Oh, well that sucks, Christina. I hope that she gets them all beforehand. And good evening, Catherine. Ooh, it also depends upon where you're going too. You know, sometimes taking coloring supplies is a little more difficult if, say, you're going out on a boat. You might want to make sure that you take something that can deal with the water. You know, I would not personally take watercolors if I'm going on a boat. They may get ruined or oversaturated with water. Alright, just getting these little flowers over here as well. We're going to do those in the blue as well so that we have our balance. Just going to put that dark blue in there. Alright. I'm going to take our yellow, do our centers, and then I'll do the little bit of green on them. For the petals or the leaves. And then we'll get started on the wall. Make sure that we get every little bit of green in there where it belongs. I think that's everything that's supposed to be green. Um, yes, they are on the deals list. I have not tried the pans, but I do really, really like her her watercolor brush pens. They are really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the bricks. So we're going to grab some brick colors. So we're going to grab these one and these one. I think these two for the bricks. In the middle of the woods. Then you can pretty much take anything you want. Alright, so I've got a nice red brown here as well as a yellow brown. Now I'm going to dull down a little bit of the red brown with a touch of the yellow brown. And test my color here on the palette, make sure that it's the color I want. And then we're just going to do our bricks. Want a little bit more of that red. This is the fiddly bits. Now another way that you can work with this type of medium is you can put you some water down and then let the paint flow in the water. That will give you a lot more of the watercolor effect than going from the palette onto the page with a heavy amount of the color. So I'll show you that effect here in just a second. Now I don't like how little color is on this one, so we're going to fill it in a little bit more. Being careful not to put too much water down. So I'm just going to get this nice and dry. And then I'll show you what I mean with the water. So I'm just going to put some water on the palette. And I'm just going to wet down this area here. Now I'm going to dry my brush. I'm going to pick up some of this paint. As you can see, it just moves in the water. So I'm just going to rinse out the brush, put a little bit more water on it. I'm going to go in the farthest area. Just let it flow. I'm just barely touching the watered area with the pigment, letting it flow with the water. Yes, that is wet on wet. Now, the difference between it is when you're doing large areas, you get a very intense movement of water and color, and it actually looks really cool. Just trying to make sure I don't do too small of an area, because you can end up overtaking a colored area by putting too much water on it. And this is wet on dry here. So what I did is I took the medium brown color and a little bit of the red brown, and I just colored that in. Trying to make sure that I leave the separations between them so that I can put in the grout lines. Hello, Jamie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, thank you. I'm glad. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about streaming is when people are able to take something away from it, other than just a good time. A good time's always good, but um, I think I missed something. I think that I missed something. I'm sorry, Catherine. I may have missed something in your comment. All right. Sorry if I go quiet. It's just concentration. Because sometimes when you're doing little fiddly things, you don't want to make a horrible mess of what you're doing. Although sometimes a horrible mess is a blessing in disguise. Happy accidents. There is never a fail in any type of art. There's just a different direction than you planned on going. Sometimes we just need to readjust. Yes, exactly. It's hard to talk with your tongue sticking out. All right. Just going to add a little bit more of this brown into some of these, just to give them a different coloring, because we all know that bricks are not all the same color. Bricks are different, especially aged bricks. Okay. And then this side over here, we're just going to fill in with the brown, just to signify the fact that the wall is there, because we have no detail. But by the look of it, the wall would come all the way up to about here. And I'm off screen, but that's okay. Hello, Shannon. Yes, I know I was off screen. It was just for a second. Thank you, Shannon. Now I'm going to take a gray. I'm going to take the lightest gray I have in this set. Hello, Mona. Where are my markers? They're over on um, my other tray. Now that's black. That is not the color I want. That was almost a big boo-boo. Alright, so we have our gray here, and I'm going directly from the marker. Because I want a deep saturation of color for the gray. And I missed a corner of a brick there, so I'll go back and fix that in just a second here. Oh, I can't, my marks are on the other board. Normally I have it zoomed out a little bit so I can stay in frame, but I zoomed in because we're doing really tiny things and my hands keep getting in the way of you guys being able to see what I'm doing. So then I forget about it and I go to a place where you guys can't see. And I forgot part of this brick here as well. So we've got a couple of bricks to fill in. And then we'll go on to the other side. So I need my brush. I think I need a little bit more of the red brown. And we're going to fill this in and fill this corner in here. And let's put a little bit more in there. Maybe a little more in here. Oh, missed some gray. We had the strangest storm last night. It came through in like half an hour. The sky completely turned orange, and then it downpoured so much that it brought the water all the way up to my front stoop, which is covered and normally doesn't ever see water unless I'm washing it. It was the strangest storm ever, and there was thunder and lightning, but there was no thunder and lightning or no rain with the thunder and lightning until after it had started to move off, and then the rain came. It was very strange, but it completely turned the sky above my house orange. All right, so we're going to move on to the other side of the brick wall here. Hello, Kenny. Wow, yeah. It's definitely strange weather. Just putting in, just going to do a very basic little bit of wall color there. Just going to even it out because we'll put the grout color between it. Awesome. Yeah, Bob got some really pretty ones, but I don't know where he posted them, so. Alright. I think he posted them on his friend's Discord when they were chatting. So I'm going through with the gray, doing the grout lines. And then we will dry that out. Alright, so the only thing left on this lower part of the picture is this little tiny butterfly. Hello there, Tanya. You must have, immediately known that I was just about to use pink. She always comes in just as I'm about to use pink. So we're going to do some pink for the butterfly with some purple and a little bit of blue. I know it's not the natural colors of a butterfly, but I don't care. Hello, Dion. Again, must have known I was going to use pink. You guys are, I'm telling you. So I'm just putting the pink down. And then we're going to take the dark purple. We're going to come off of the pink with it to the edge. We're going to pick up a little bit more of the pink. And blend that together. Thank you. Exactly. It's my page. I'll color it the way I want. Then we're going to take a little bit of the dark blue here. We're just going to put a very tip of it on the tip of the wing here. Then we're going to take some of this light purple We're just going to blend that down a little bit, like so. And it's a gorgeous gecko in its own self. So I think you did a great job on that gecko. Just going to bring that pink out a little. And then we're going to go into the deep purple. And the dark blue. And we're going to wipe that all off, and we're just going to take a little bit of this green and touch these little dot areas, as well as her little antenna. And there we have our butterfly. Alright, so we have our butterfly done. Now we're going to move up, and I'm actually going to turn, so we're going to be a little upside down. There we go. And move these away. So we've got a little bit of flowers up on the edge there. So they look like these ones. So we're going to make sure that we do those in the blues. If I can find where I just put my paint pen. Where'd it go? Oh, duh, in the water. Don't worry about me. I'll figure it out. So I'm going to take some of the dark blue because they're quite far behind there. And they're a little bit shadowed. I also forgot some grass here, so I'll be adding some green in there for the grass. And we'll put some green in. Pick up some yellow green. There we go. Now, make sure I get all that green off. I missed a piece of the wall right here. So I'll be coloring that. There we go. That's better. All right. So this area here behind these leaves is all the same kind of wall that this is. So we're going to add a little bit more of the browns. To our palette. So again, I'm just going to very carefully fill in the area that I think a brick would be, because they're not drawn in there. Now I am working directly out of the Teresa Goodridge Country Gardens book. This is not normal. Excuse me. This is not special watercolor paper. It is directly out of the book, and it is taking that water really nicely. So if you want to do something straight out of the book with watercolor, it does work quite well. Now, same with up here. This is probably a leaf, but that's okay. It's becoming a part of the wall. All right, now we're going to take our gray. There it is. Yes, I have it taped down because it does move a little bit. But if you dry it right away with, say, the heat gun, it does not buckle as much as I expected it to. I taped it down just to make sure that it wouldn't buckle on me, and it's not buckling nearly as much as I thought it would. Now, just following the lines. So I'm following this line here from these bricks because on the other side of the wall it's going to be about the same. So I'm trying to make sure that I have the same amount of brickwork on this side as I would on this side. Now we're going to do the bricks on this side. Make sure I put in a good shadow for that pot. Yes, I do. Just checking to make sure that my pen actually had water in it still, and it's still full. I was wondering why it wasn't working as well as it should when I was doing the background. And yeah, I was out of water. Awesome. Yeah. It doesn't bother me usually either. It's just when I'm trying to work and it picks up too much water. Sometimes when it's buckling like that, I find that the water pools in the buckle and it bugs me. Yeah, I wasn't sure how it was going to behave, so I just taped it down anyway, just to make sure. I've never watercolored in one of these books before. I don't do a lot of watercolor, so. And of course we've got sunflowers in this for the hashtag for Shannon's second streamiversary. Congratulations on that. 2 years is a long time to be streaming. A lot of people don't make it that long. And you are awesome. So now, let's see. Trying to decide. Hey Emily, welcome, welcome. So see this side here? Do you think that is part of the building or part of the background? Right here, behind it. If you want, I'll flip it around so you can see it better. You think it's brick? Okay. It's just not very well defined, so we're going to color it as brick. All right. Now the upper part of the building is also not well defined, so I'm going to color as far as the top brick is here with the brick tones. Just in the background a little bit. There's a defined brick there. Now it looks like it ends at about here. I'm just going to put this last bit of brick in. And then we'll do the upper part in a different tone. I don't know why I picked more of that up. All right, so we're going to start on some of the ivy leaves here. So we're going to use this green, this green. So I'm just filling the palette with as much of this green as I can because it's one of our dominant grains, as well as the yellow green. And then we're going to take the dark green, which is right here. We're going to put it down as well. You fur babies, go to bed. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the darkest green and do the edges. Lose concentration here. Sorry if I go quiet. Oh, and I forgot to do the inside of the grout line, so I'll do that here in just a second. Yeah, exactly. As long as you don't use too much water, you can pretty much use it on everything. It's just you have to be careful how much water goes down. And if you're new at it, like me, learning how to control that water can be interesting. It took me a lot of won't say failures, but a lot of practice and happy accidents to figure out how much water to put down. And still, I get it wrong. All right, so I'm going to take the full gray here and we're going to put the grout line in. Just before I forget. Because I will. I already have. All right. I think that's it for the grout line. Nice. Well, thank you, Kenny. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to pick up the medium green here, and I'm filling the brush with it, as much pigment as I can get on it. And we're just going to go over the dark green and pull it out and towards the center a bit. The reason why I filled the brush is so that I can do more than one leaf at a time, because I want to blend that yellow green into it before it dries. I like the effect it gives it. All right. So now I'm going to rinse this off completely. And I'm going to just take a little tiny bit of that and a lot of the yellow green. Then I'm just going to go right over top of all of it. And hopefully I'm still in screen. And then I'm going to hit that with the air dryer. All right, again with the dark green, just filling it in. Now I've only got one or two of the leaves here that I need to do with the dark green before I do with the really dark green, because I missed a couple, but that's okay. So I'm just getting those edges done, make sure the shadow areas are covered. Then we're going to rinse that out quite a bit, make sure that there's not very much of the green in there. pick up some of that yellow chartreuse green. And then we're going to fill it in. Blend those colors together. Like so. And then we have some happy little leaves. Okay, now we're going to take our dark green again. And pick up as much of that as we can, and we're going to do the edges. So this is the same process that I did on these other leaves that is shown at the start of the video. So if you want to watch it, it is there. I do a speed coloring through it, catching everybody up to where we started today, from where we finished off on Monday. Just rolling my brush a little bit to make sure that it doesn't fray apart. Because sometimes if there's not a lot of water on your brush, you will find that the bristles will stand apart, which is a little annoying. But it's just because there's not enough water on my brush, because I dried it off on a paper towel because I didn't want it too wet. Alright, I'm going to put down some more of the green. Did I stick it back? Yeah, I did. I'm going to have to come in here and wash my palette before we do the sky, but that's okay. Pretty much everything we have going on right now is going to be greens, except for the sky, and of course the tree trunks and that sort of thing. Hello, Stacy. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Hello, everybody and anybody that I may have missed while I'm having my head down, sticking my tongue out. Hopefully I haven't missed too many of you. If I have, I'm sorry. Just going to darken the back side of this leaf here for the shadow. Like that. Now we're going to take our bright green and we're going to start filling in around the edges. Like so. It's okay if your paint pen dries on your palette. The water will reactivate it and you can still pick it up. Now these are watercolor paint pens. They are not water color markers with the felt tip, you know what I mean. These are a brush paint pen. Just so nobody gets confused with it later on. Okay, so that's as far as we're going to go with that. Then we're going to pick up the yellow, leaving a little bit of that dark green in there. Good night, Dawn. Awesome. Oh, and I missed one. Pick up some water. I'm just going to quickly do these because I did miss one with the dark green, or the medium green, I should say. I want a little bit more of that yellow green in there. Hello, Calamity. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are fine, dear. So I've done the speed coloring at the start of the video, start of the live streams twice now. What do you guys think of that? Do you like that? Do you not like that? What do you guys think? Is it helpful to see the progress of what goes on when I'm not on stream with y'all? Alright, going to dry that out. I have no idea. I've had them for about 2 or 3 months and they're not dried out, so. And it was the alcohol markers that have started to dry out a little bit. And I don't know why. I had worse time with the Tombows drying out than the Arrtx. Alright, gonna do this one here. The only watercolory type of things that I have of Arrtx's are the Twi markers. And they're just fine. I'm going to pick up some of the yellow. And we're going to fill that in. I think so. Well, it is only 5 minutes, so, you know, it's not an entire coloring. It is just what I've done off screen. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit here, just because I've got other colors I need to put on here. And my palette's a little bit of a mess, so I'm just going to wipe it up. I'll try not to squeak, but I'm sorry if I do. All right. All right, so now we're going to continue on and finish off these ones here. So I need some more green. So I need this one, and this one. And this one. Yes, it's just to keep you guys updated on what I have done off screen. It is not the full coloring. It's just what I did off screen. All right, so we're just going to move on in here. Do these leaves back here. I think it's a very interesting way of keeping you guys informed on how things are done or how they get accomplished when I'm doing things off screen, so that you can see the full picture come together. Because I know some of you aren't in Discord and don't hang out in my Discord chat. So, saying that I'm going to do that in Discord, for some of you is kind of a bummer because you're not in the Discord and don't hang out in the Discord chat, so you don't get to see it. And that's my way of making sure that everybody gets to see it if they want to. Hello, Marilyn. Thank you. Yeah, if I do a full speed color, then I will usually put little captions in it. But with these little 5-minute speed colorings, they're just to keep you caught up on what I did while I was offline on the picture that we're working on during the lives. And I will, of course, during the live tell you what I've been doing and that sort of thing. Just it helps you prepare for what's coming up. It's what it does. All right, so we're almost all done with the ivy leaves here. Just going to fill those in. Take some of the yellow. Like so. All right. Okay, now we're going to take some of this really dark green here and a little bit of this one. That's the dark green. That's not the one I wanted. this one, which is a bit of a blue-green. So we're going to mix those together. And we're going to get a dark bluey green. And we're going to color in this tree. Now I'm not worried about the smaller details of this tree because I am going to come back through with some colored pencils and add some detailing. To some of the areas that are being blanket painted out. Because some of these little bushes, they have very, very, very little detail in them. And are kind of meant to be backgroundy type things. Oh, I love egg salad sandwiches. Egg salad sandwiches are good. I'm going to do the same thing down here, just with the bright green and a little bit of the dark green. Egg salad sandwiches sound good. Maybe that's what I don't think that would go over well for dinner, but I might make that for lunch tomorrow. Now I'm hungry, Emily. Yum! You're making me hungry. It's a good thing you're cute. Alright, now I need my dark green. I don't know where I put it. I thought I just grabbed it, but I must have put it back in here or something. Where did I put it? There it is. Alright, so I'm going to grab some of the dark green, some of the medium green, and some of that blue green, and mix them all together. And a little bit of that yellow green. I'm just blanket coloring these little bushes back here. And like I said, I will go through later with a colored pencil and maybe some gel pens and add some detail to those. Maybe some berries and that sort of thing. And do the same thing for this little bush here. Get some water flow in there. like so. Probably should have done that brown, but that's okay. Yeah, the one I get is from Fred Meyer's, and it's not the one you guys are talking about, the old Alda or Uda. It's a Fred Meyer brand, and they use tapioca syrup instead of sugar. So I find it a lot easier on my stomach. So that's what I've been using. Now I'm going to do some grass here, so I'm going to take the yellow olive green, and I think it's this one, yeah, and the bright green, and move them together because there's a grassy knoll back here. Do up under the trees there. All right, and then we're going to take it and we're going to do this evergreen. And we're going to take some of the blue green, add that in there. My dog is next to me snoring. All right, now we're going to blow dry that. Now for these pots here, I'm going to take the purple. So I've got the light purple here, and I need the dark purple, which is back in the bin. Exactly. I always make more sandwiches too, or toast. Toast is really bad. I make a lot of toast. So I'm going to take the lighter purple, and I missed a blade of grass there, so I'll grab that here in just a second. And take the darker purple. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. My fat hand's not in the way. They have gotten way better. I'm telling you, some of the gluten-free stuff when I first started having to be gluten-free was horrible. Same with sugar-free stuff. They've gotten a lot better with sugar-free stuff too. And then just for our pink loves out there, we're going to take our pink and a dark pink. And we're going to do this pot here with our pinks. Take our dark pink. Go under the rim. Make sure that we get our little bit of shadow in there. And then of course for our butterfly, put in our pink. Take some of our purple. I have put a little bit more pink in that. This butterfly is much smaller. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the whole thing in the pink, and then we'll add the purple and blend it together. Because this one is much smaller. And then we're just going to take our blue, and instead of the green on the dots, we're just going to do a little bit of blue. And there we have our butterfly. Now we have about 10 minutes left, so let's get the sky done. So I'm going to wipe up the mess I've made here. And, oh, I've got the door to do as well, but let's get the sky done first. So we're going to start with this one, this one, this one, and this one. Because it's such a small area, we can do a sunset or a sunrise type of sky area. So we're going to do some orangey red, some orange, some yellow orange, and some yellow. Alright, so I'm going to wipe this up. Yes, frosted cardboard, that's always good. Yum, not. Thank y'all. Sorry, I'm reading your guys' chat because, you know. Alright, I'm going to put down some water. And we're going to start with the red orange. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put down the water first and just let it move. Not too concerned about it getting on the bushes here because I'm going to be adding some gel pen to make the bushes have little bits of color. Then we're going to take the orange. My neighbor's dog is barking its little head off for some reason. Also not worried about the tree limbs. Come on, a little bit more orange in this area. What is your master plan? I've missed it. Come on, guys. Not allowed to do master plan when I'm concentrating. Um, if she had said a curse word that was inappropriate, the bot would have actually gotten it and blocked it. So, not quite sure what you think she said, but if it was an inappropriate curse word, the bot would have grabbed it. Alright, just going to put in just a touch more of the red down here with some of that orange. Now we're going to blow dry that. Hello, Ghost. Emily, do you have innocent eyes? I am doing good. Okay, so we're just going to use some brown on the tree trunks here. And I'm letting that sunset color come through it with a bit of the yellows and the reds hitting the branches. And I'm also going to take a little bit of the yellow Hey there, honey. And we're just going to do a little bit of the edges with that yellow, like so. And we'll move it in a little bit. All right, so we're going to do the door. We're going to pick up some of this brown and we're going to grab a little bit of the darker brown. You guys are silly. Oh, and I missed some gray, so I need the gray. Here, and I think I'm going to do this step gray as well. So hopefully you guys can see that. All right, now we're going to do the door frame. All right. Now we're going to take more of that darker brown. All right, Emily, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate you being here. Have a great night. Say hello to the family. All right, now we're just going to take this brown here. And we're going to fill in the door. right. Gonna make sure that we get that nice and a nice different color than the frame. So that it blends well. Uh-oh. He does have a good point, but not saying it. All right, so now I want this creamy yellow color, which I do believe is this one. Just gonna check and make sure. Yeah, I think it's this one. It could be this one too. No, it's this one. This one and maybe this one. Let's see. No, that's way too bright. Not getting the color I want. Ah, it's that one. Okay. So we're going to take the creamy color and I'm going to put a large amount of water in it. Water it right down. And we're going to do the walls of the building behind the ivy. And this will be the last thing for us to do with the paint. So off screen I will go through and add any sort of gel pen, that sort of thing. And if you want, I will post that on the next video. Alright, so I'm going to wipe this up and then I'm going to move the picture into the main screen view. And I'm going to blow dry the door and the wall. And there we have the entire picture painted. Very true. Okay, so I will be adding a little bit of this and that with some colored pencils and some gel pens. Do you want me to videotape that and put it at the start of the next stream? Or do you just want me to post it once I get the little accents done? Thank you. Of course Shannon's loved. Shannon is fantastic. Exclamation point Shannon. So what do you guys think? Would you like to see the additions being added, or do you want to just see the um, final product? I know you'll be happy if I'm happy. I just want to know what. Miss Calamity. Shannon is amazing. See them added? Okay. Video, video, video. Okay. All right, so I will record it and I will put it on the video for Saturday's stream so that you guys can see it all finished up and with all the little bits added. All right, guys. With that, I would like to say thank you all very much for joining me. I hope this has been fun, educational, and at least, not as horrible as it could possibly have been. Always remember to like, comment, and subscribe to every YouTube artist that you have enjoyed. Make sure that you do that not only for our self-esteem, but it does help us out with our analytics as well. And of course, always, always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. Until next time, everyone, thank you very much for coming. You have a fantastic day. Bye-bye for now.